Okay, I got the side panel off already. I have, you know, the USB, all this stuff hooked in. Here is the side panel. This is, well, was my uncle's computer. You can see here, DVD-ROM in here has a cover kind of like this is, and this is bad. I don't know, it says push right here, I don't know why, but right here it says push out, so I didn't even notice this at first until I started doing this. So it has two USB ports here, microphone and audio jack, and some card readers, and a little LED indicator there, you know, that's going to tell you if the cards are in it. So my original problem I was having with this, well, he was having was he was getting a message saying that there's no boot device found, right? No boot device found. The CMOS battery is good. So I told him either the operating system got corrupted, knowing how old this is, because it's an old Pentium system. I don't know when he replaced the hard drive, you know, because he had me work on it like 2 years ago. I did replace this power supply. You can see Seasonic. It's a 350 watt power supply. Yeah. Because the old one slowly, you know, burned itself out. The fan was just completely locked up. And so I was like, well, it probably, either the operating system got corrupted somehow, or your hard drive is just bad. So he's like, I can drop it off. I was like, you could drop it off anytime. You know, did this become like I put everything else kind of off to the side again? Well, I made this more of a priority, so when it come in I could check it out. And I asked him, since it was an older computer already, I was like, have you just thought about replacing it? Because it's time, you know, if it is a hard drive, I'd want to put, you know, like a 500 gig SSD, and they kind of move back up again. So they'll be, instead of like 23 under 25, now they're going to be like 27, something like that. So it's a little bit higher. So you still, you know, all he would have to do is buy the SSD, and then I'd order it, and then he'd repay me back just for the SSD, and then I'd do everything else. So I'd pull the whole system apart and clean it. It is pretty dirty again, so I'd pull everything out of here and re-clean it all up again just to get it running. So right now it has two. I took this extra one out because some reason it had 3 2 gig sticks in it. So now it's just sitting with two 2 gig sticks, so it has 4 gigs in total. But like I say, my original problem was when I turned it on, I got no image. So my first thought was just reset the BIOS. And so I took the CMOS battery out. That's when, I don't know why I'm talking kind of fast. So that's when I took the CMOS battery out so that's when, since I had the CMOS battery out, I tested this. This is good. It's still reading 3 volts. So someone had to replace that. So I'm assuming someone else worked on this at one time after I did 2 years ago. Maybe I replaced this 2 years ago. I don't remember. All I remember is changing out the power supply. Yeah, you see what it does. Like right now it should boot in like with no problem. So I got turn the power supply on, monitor set to the right thing. Okay, so it's turning on now. Fan will do that. Well, it ramps up super loud and then it slowly goes back down. So you see you can see we're getting a boot image. It's telling us all this stuff. Let's go into the BIOS and see what's up. So setups F1. So you can see here the time and date's wrong, obviously, because I took the CMOS battery out. CMOS was good before. All that stuff was stored, so it isn't like the boot selection was wrong for some reason, because this was all stored still. It's still good, right? It should have been, because the battery's good. Let's go down to system info, and it has a Pentium E5400 running at 2.7 gigahertz. Maybe this is another system that I can use one of the E7500s in to upgrade it. And another reason why I just told him to, you know, I kind of told him then, asked him if, you know, like you ever thought about just replacing it because it's getting older. It's like I do have a decent computer coming in. It's, you know, it's newer than this. It's one socket newer. So this is LGA 775. I have one that's coming in, the one I was mentioning in a different video from shopgoodwill.com, that I was going to do the unboxing again and show if it works or not. It has 1155 Pentium in it. So it's a newer Pentium than I was expecting. So it's like, I looked it up, it's like a year newer than the i3-2120 I was going to put in it. But it says, everything I looked said the onboard graphics for the Pentium that's in it is a little bit faster than the graphics that it is on the i3-2120. So I just left that CPU like it was, and that system has 5 gigs of RAM in it, and it's running Windows 10 Home. It originally came with like Windows 8, so it's going from, the system had Windows 7, but most of the hardware, you know, like the socket was well, that one's for Windows 7 too. So at least originally this thing came with 7. Originally the other computer came with 8. So it's a little bit newer. It's cleaner. Overall, it's a better computer. So I'm gonna keep this, and you know, he's gonna pay the difference of what I paid. It's kind of like I didn't pay for, you know, like he bought it instead of me buying it. But yeah, so I'll have to find a different computer, hopefully at that price range, that I can just upgrade, you know, the CPU. I haven't been able to find anything like that, but I'm not gonna make this too long. So yes, I'm gonna turn this back off, and I want to see if this is still gonna is gonna do the same issue. So I'm gonna hit the power button. You know, I hit the power switch, so it's off, and the power button a couple times. I want to see if this is still gonna act up like it was before. Like I said, when I first got it, I went to power it up. I got no image on the screen with the CMOS battery in. I took the CMOS battery out, it worked to reset it. So then I put the CMOS battery back in, it wouldn't post with this in. So just see if it will repost with it in. But it does need one capacitor changed in. It is bulging pretty bad. So here we go. I'm gonna guess, yeah, it's gonna post now. Since, yeah, so now it's posting. It always does a fan ramp up really loud and then slowly draws back down. Yeah, it's posting now. You can obviously see it's posting now. So I don't know what was going on earlier, but it needs a CMOS it needs a new capacitor on the motherboard. I told him it's best to replace them all, since he's not the one fixing it. I hate to replace the one and then he gets it and then another one starts going bad. The rest of them look fine from this way, like they're not bulging from the top, but that doesn't mean they're not bulging from the bottom. So I was like, you know, I have this other one. You can get that one instead of me trying to fix this capacitor, because I don't have that many of them. I could replace that one and then replace a hard drive, because it does have issues, right? Because I even hooked it in my external dock. And you know, I was into this device here. So it's USB power plug and power button. So it's even having an issue when I docked it on here and onto my like recovery PC, right? So when I finally got it to show up and I went in the user to do an easy, you know, pull off pictures and music, I could click on like, it had another user on it that said test. So I'm assuming that was the user I put on here for like the test when I refixed it. I could pull that up. I could click that and it come up right away. I clicked on owner, which is the name he set up for himself, and I couldn't get that to open. It took like 10 minutes to get that to open. So that part is kind of corrupted after 10 minutes to open, and then I didn't even really have to do a recovery part on it. I just ended up getting it and pulling all the pictures off it, putting on the thumb drive, so I would have it, so I can do a fresh install of his new / used computer and just move his files over. I did a scan, make sure that them files were fine. But yeah, it was like weird, right? But that system's good for him. He can pick it up. I'm gonna message him later on. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. Let him know he can pick that up. Let's turn this off. Take this CMOS battery out again. It's kind of warm. This power it on again and see if it still does the same thing. If it powers up, fans ramp up. Yeah, it's gonna power on. Okay, so I don't know what happened. It maybe this RAM's being in a three sticks of RAM was causing the issue. But I took it out, took it down to 1 stick, and it still was doing that. Let's pop the CMOS battery in again. Alright, so the CMOS battery's in. Let's power it on. And now it's good, right? So this system basically just needs a full cleaning so far. Recheck this drive. I did run disinfo and it said this drive is good, so I'm assuming it's just the user is corrupted somehow or something's just not right, you know? So yeah, it's posting now without an issue with the CMOS battery in. So I will need to pull this apart, fully clean it, and then change that CMOS. I'll change that one, because I don't really know what I'm going to do with it yet. Could put XP on this system here too. I don't know how far could you go down with one. Maybe to test it, see how, I don't think. Yeah, you could put XP on it. Leave Windows 7 and 10 on it. Yeah, I don't even know if it has a key anywhere on it. Yeah, I think the key's on the other side. So I want to pop this drive in now and see what happens. Since maybe it's like the drive's wanting to work now. I'll find where the connectors are. Yeah, because like I said, I didn't run a full scan to check the hard drive itself. You see the hard drive? Yeah. So I didn't scan it to see if it's good. I just did disk info, and disk info said it was good, but it had a lot of hours on it. He says he leaves it on like maybe, like 2 days in a row and then turns it off most of the time. It seems weird how dusty it was. His daughter wanted to pay me, but I was like, for the new computer, I was like, he already bought it. But I was like, if you want to do something nice for him, get him some cans of dust, compressed air, for he can blow this thing out. Because that's one of the main reasons why I had to work on it before. It's because of the heat issue. And obviously this is not good for it now, being this dirty. So you just hit the power button again. Okay, there we go. It's powering up. Yeah, pretty nice. Like I was expecting to show a video of it not working and then show that little what I had to do. Let's hit continue and see what happens. See, this is what happens. It says boot, reboot and select permanent boot device, or reinstall boot media in selected disk. So maybe this boot partition is corrupted, so it's not booting. So excuse me. So we'll hit the power button, turn it back on again, and go in the BIOS and see. It shouldn't matter what that priority is. I don't know why it's having a hassle, but it shouldn't matter. It should go to the first one. First one doesn't have an operating system on it. It should go to the second one, third, fourth, until it hits an operating system. So now it's just like, it's not giving me the postcode from before, so I have to Start it, hit delete. I did put a B speaker in it because it, you know, like, I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, it's giving some like a weird, for disc 1 it's showing like some weird text, like so it says SS5440, and then it looks like a N capital I 1/4 EA, so the E's capital, A's capital, small G, an L that seems to be floating. I don't know what that is, and a J. So it's showing up that there's a drive, but it's like scrambled. Let's go to the boot priority device. Since I reset it, it says removable drive. It shouldn't make a difference. It should just read that drive anyways. Just do exit and save. So I'm assuming somehow maybe the boot ROM, you know, it just, that's corrupted part. Yeah, so it's still saying that. So you say the boot partition's bad. So just do this, like I can. Hit delete. It fixes real fast, I'm assuming, if it will go into the thing. So yeah, now I'm not even wanting to get in the BIOS. Like it says entering setup. I can run this drive, or maybe even my older one, which is weird. Where is it at? Here. So yeah, you've seen it booted in to the BIOS several times, and now it's stuck on not wanting to get in the BIOS ever since I hooked this drive in. Now we're not hooked up to Ethernet or nothing like that, so, or Wi-Fi, because it doesn't have Wi-Fi in it. See if I can get in the BIOS this time. Okay, it looks like it's gonna go in. Hitting delete. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna change that boot order. Now it just completely changed, and not even having the I'm gonna try my older drive in it because it has a hard drive indicator light on it. If I can plug it in. Let's repower this. Yeah, it's not even wanting to turn off now. There it goes. You just turn it back on, hit delete again. See if I can get in the BIOS this time. Yeah, you've seen that. See, that's how this computer just acts kind of really weird. And again, it's like not wanting to go into the BIOS. Now, if it does it again, I'll probably pull that CMOS battery out. It's probably what's causing the issue. Okay, here we go. It should go in now. USB mass stores detected. And it's still not wanting to go in the BIOS. Okay. So I'm gonna pull the CMOS battery out since I already know it was causing issues before. See if that's what the issue is. I think something's up with this drive. Even that disk info says there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, that's like, as soon as I hook this drive in, it starts acting up. I can't even get in the BIOS to change it. What is I don't know what the boot menu is, F9 maybe, but like ever since I hooked this drive in, it does not want to work. So just unplug this again and show you, like, if I have an issue with it. So hitting delete to get in the BIOS. CMOS battery's out, and the hard drive's unhooked. I just heard a beep that time. Probably heard it earlier, just don't remember. Yeah, we're still like, still not wanting to post. Even the second core says it's running at 2.1 gigahertz. What in the world? Yeah, like, power cycling. Let's try it again. Yeah, this thing just has a bunch of issues. At least now it's trying to go in and do something. So you just not hit delete and just let it do its thing. So let's hit F1 to go into settings. So now it's wasn't that good, so maybe hitting delete. It's got removable drive up there. It's good. So you just power this off. It should boot from my USB device. And just also hook the hard drive back in. I'm gonna grab a different power thing too, because that one doesn't seem very good. It's the same end I just had. No, so here's a different one. SATA connectors hooked in. Should just start booting from the. Should boot from my USB. It has a boot. It should boot into that. Yeah, that's not even powered on, so that's why I wanted to use that one. So that's not even like, it's not even trying to power on from that drive. Just change this up to a different port. Try it again. We know we're getting power because the keyboard's working. I'm gonna I don't know what the key, where it doesn't tell me where the key. Let's try F8. Yeah, this system just doesn't wanna work. Like, and and when I push it F8, it says boot selection pops up, menu has been selected. Okay, so just hit F2. Okay, there we go. But my USB is not showing up, and the hard drive's not showing up. As you can see here, please select boot device. It just showing. It is just showing the DVD-ROM. So I'm gonna retry. Switch the keyboard and mouse, to another port, and use this one in that port, and try this again. What was that, F8? I'll try hitting F8 and see what happens, if it will give me the boot menu. It says tap. Press tab. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, there's something still definitely wrong with. I don't think. Like, here it goes. Okay, so still the flash drive is not showing up. So I'm gonna switch it to my other one. I don't know why that one's not showing up. Just switch to this other one. Try this again. Yeah, that one doesn't have a LED on it, so it doesn't. I don't know if it's trying to boot in off of it or not. Let's give it a second. I don't know what it's doing. That's why I wanted to go with this one first, because it does have an LED on it. So at least it indicates that it's doing something, which it wasn't earlier. So I'm guessing this one's not doing anything either, and it's just like the frozen thing again. You see, I didn't have an issue until I hooked this drive in, and then I started having where I couldn't get in the BIOS. Seeing I got in the BIOS like every single time, even with the CMOS battery in or out, and that's the original problem. This drive hooked in, I can't get it to do really anything now. Let's unhook this drive again, and it's hooked into a different SATA cable. Just power cycle it. Hit the power button a couple times since the CMOS battery's out. I'll switch this back up, put this one back in since the LED's on there. And now you just hit the power button again, switch is on, power button's on, and see what happens this time. Hit F8, hit F2 to continue. Now it's showing up. See that? With the hard drive unhooked, it's showing up. It's I'm gonna grab my known good hard drive and see if we still have an issue. See, it's power this off. Do that, and now just hook this drive in. unhook the thumb drive this time. It looks like it's still causing the same issue with any hard drive in it. So yeah, so with any hard drive hooked in, it's still like trying to freeze up. Pretty weird. We have a DVD-ROM on, so try this again. Yeah, the system doesn't want to really do anything with any hard drive hooked in. Like, okay, we got delete again this time, so now we're getting this. So, but it didn't continue anywhere else. It can't get nowhere else than that. So just power this down. Turn it back on. Do I need to like change the SATA cable? So what I'm going to do is unhook this cable, unhook the one from the DVD-ROM, and put that one up here. And let's try this again. Yeah, it's still getting the same kind of freezing deal as you seen. It was seeming like it was wanting to work good without a hard drive in it. As soon as I go to put any hard drive in it, this is a known good working hard drive in it, it gives me this, just freezes. I'm pushing delete, nothing. I'm hitting tab, nothing. I changed the SATA cable over. Just try to even grab the one power cord from the DVD-ROM. Let's try that. This is the last thing, and then I'll cut it. Now I'll put a little part additional on it where I'm showing what the computer actually looks like, and when I'm talking about what capacitor looks bad. So now it has a different power plug hooked in and a SATA. Now it's wanting to. Now it's kind of going to here, so just try F2. Is there something wrong with the power supply again? So now we're trying to boot in. So is there something wrong with the power supply? Not booting in at all though, still getting the. So I'm going to turn this down. I don't know if this is set, like, if this is, I know this is legacy, I don't know what the system boots off of. If it's UEFI or whatever. So you just try this again. I think this is the right plug that I just did. And the SATA cable. Yeah, this video getting long just to troubleshoot this. So you just try this again. So there went that ideal, because it just still doing the same thing again. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this part. I'm gonna put in the second second little part showing, you know, the board and the capacitor and what I'm talking about this computer, because it's any drive you hook in, any hard drive you hook in, it just doesn't want to post after that. And you've seen a million times. I'll say it again, like I got in the BIOS, no problems whatsoever until I hooked a hard drive in. Right, so you just cut this off again, unhook this, so there's no DVD-ROM hooked in anymore or hard drive hooked in. So you just try and see if it will boot from my thumb drive, and then I'll do the other part. So see, there you go, like F2, any kind of hard drive you hook into it, it doesn't want to work. It's still getting the little cursor up here, but at least it's like something. So I'm gonna, you know, cut this right here, and we'll see more about what's up with this computer. That part should be pretty short. So here you go. So it's booting into the thumb drive. You can see that, right? So yeah, it's booting into the thumb drive. You'll see what it is once it starts up. If it starts up, it is off a thumb drive and it's running USB 2.0. So I'll probably just let this set here, because it's probably going to take a couple minutes or so to actually go in. Might even have froze, I don't know. But I'm going to cut this part, and I'm going to stitch in the second part showing maybe this will show up already, and how dirty this is, and the bad capacitor, like I was saying. The bar's like right down here, loaded files way down here, just past L. So yeah, the audio changed because there's no just running on the onboard, or whatever you want to call it. So here you go. Too much light. But this is a capacitor right here I'm talking about. You can see it is kind of bad. This looks good. These ones here look good. You see I have it in these slots. Not the right ones, but okay. The rest of the capacitors look fine. Like, except that one right there. Obviously the power supply is still unhooked because this is right after I had the other one hooked in. And all the capacitors in it, except this one, looks fine. Let's try to, yeah, see, you can see right here. See how dirty that is now? That's after like 2 years. And there's a heat sink. You know, there's no rear fan. A lot of dust in here. So yeah, I'm gonna try to change that capacitor once the new soldering iron comes in today. Hopefully it comes in today. I'll try to change that one and then give you guys an update if changing that one made it work or whatever, and then reordering a whole bunch of these, because I don't have a lot of these. Maybe I could dig enough up that I definitely know I don't have that many of them, because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Did I count all of them? 13, 14, 15, 16 of them. Let's recount them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Then at 17, there maybe another 18 of them. So I'm going to try just replacing that first one later on the day once my order actually comes in, and then give you guys an update and see if I can get this system running. By then, I'll have all this out, and it's going to be cleaned at least, and I'll retest it after I clean it and it's dried before changing that capacitor out. Nah, I just clean the whole system out, and then once I'm able to get the tool for I could change that out, the new one, then I'll update you guys on if it works or not, since we obviously, you know, had no issue before I hooked a hard drive in, and then once I hooked a hard drive in, I got it, then the system wouldn't act weird. Hooked in a secondary power supply, thinking this power supply may be bad since we're hooking in the the SATA, so maybe that was a problem. So yeah, I hook in a known good power supply that you've seen in my other videos. We know it works, and we had the same issue that it froze for a while, and then right about when I was gonna cut that part of the video, it like booted, but then wouldn't go, went to that boot part on the screen again, but then wouldn't go any farther than that. So we tried it, with this thumb drive here, so I can, like repair the boot partition on it using software. I wanted to show that off because it's really easy. No command prompt, registry, nothing. This boots in. It's like Windows 10 version has a bunch of software on it. It has a software on it that's one click and it fixes it. And I had good luck with that. So it's a good utility. You would have seen it running. So I'll give you an update once I actually replace this capacitor. By then this whole computer will be cleaned out. At least it has a standard motherboard in here. I could put a different motherboard in here. Even that this panel's gone here. At least the side panel's here. Maybe put if I can't get this fully working, I could put the motherboard that has an i5 2400 in it. I could put that board into this case. Yeah, it's going to be the end of it until I replace that capacitor, and then I give you an update. So stay tuned. Okay, now the audio will be kind of different again, but this is a update on, as you can see here, my uncle's computer. I got it all cleaned up. The new tool I needed, soldering iron. I don't know why I have a hard time saying that, but you can see I got the side panel kind of on here, but just sitting here nice and clean now. Here is the back, so it is good and clean. So I take this off, I'll put this down on the side, and now you can see all clean inside. And I did do this, I remember that, why the cables look like that, they're just soldered in. This is actually I replaced a power switch on it when I would replace a power supply too, because the power switch stopped working. So the only thing I had was a Dell, I think came out of a Dell, but it's one that has one LED for the power and hard drive indicator, but it's the 3-pin. So I just kind of spliced in my own wires on it and hooked it up. So as you can see here, it's working. Power button works. Can't tell if the lights work or not. I might have switched them up, plugging it back in, but as you can see, system is fully cleaned. I replaced this one capacitor. That's what had been causing the problems, because now the hard drive's hooked into this top slot, which it was having a problem. CMOS batteries in here. I have two sticks of RAM in here. I tested it with 4, and it still boots up perfectly fine. Now you can actually see the heat sink. Before you really couldn't. The DVD-ROM's hooked in. The 300-watt power supply from Seasonics hooked in. It's a pretty heavy power supply for just being 350 watts. And this is another one of these power supplies I always got for replacement of computers. Like the other one, the PowerMan power supply, I got when I couldn't get these. So these were the main replacement for them kind of computers. Like work at home, like I was saying before, I'd have 3 of them sitting here all the time that was ready to go. So when someone's computer broke down, they would just come pick up the new one and drop off their old one. So when they went home, they hooked the computer up, wire wise, and they just signed in. The computer was ready to go. When their power supplies went bad, this is what I put in them. But if I couldn't get these fast enough, I'd get the other ones, because these weren't in stock a lot of times, right? So I'd get these, and these were pretty cheap, because I was buying them like 10 at a time. So all I charged him was like $20 for this, because that's all I replaced was a power supply the first time, like 2 years ago. So then, 350 watts. He has no video card. He only had 6 gigs of RAM, and it originally had 6 gigs. So that 3 gig, the 3 RAM stick was how it was configured when it was new. Yeah, it's clean now, and it boots. As you can see, it did have this CPU in it, which is an a Pentium E4500. Since I have, I have some more of the Core 2 Dual E7500, so I went ahead, and you can see the system's up and running. See, it's booting up. So I went ahead and put this Core 2 Dual E7500 running at 2.9 gigahertz. Let's show you, like, not the best example screenshot like this, but this is a quick part showing all 4 gigs of RAM. There is the 500 gig hard drive. So this system is back up and running. It's not the fastest thing in the world, So replace this capacitor, fix the boot problems, and kind of downgraded the RAM. I don't want to put 1 stick extra back in it to have 3, and we took out this, the CPU here. So what I did was change the capacitor, repeat myself, but this is going to be the end of the video. I didn't think replacing that 1 capacitor would fix the issue, but it did. I was thinking about trying to get that the GTX 460 to work in here, but some reason that video card is odd. I don't know what the problem with that video card is. It works. I tested it. Sorry about that. I tested it in my 3800X system, and it works. As a matter of fact, I played Fortnite on it, then Save the World part. I played it a lot lately because they had the holiday event up, and I want to get all the upgrade things you need for like your guns and your heroes and stuff right now, because I have never done that. So been trying to do that. I got 2 accounts to do it on, but I'm doing it on my main one first. But I played that on my computer for like 2 weeks or so, and on 1080p low settings, that card stays above like 35 FPS, in the 45s normally. So it's high 30s, low 40s most of the time, and it plays it smoothly. It doesn't stutter, so when the FPS drops, it doesn't stutter. So then I was like, well, I got this board working, just test it now, and it still wouldn't work on the PCIe lane, right? So it wouldn't work on the slot. So I put one of the 280s I have in this system, and it booted off the 280. So then I was like, okay, so the slot's good. Definitely have, because I was running SATA to 6-pin off of this 350 watt power supply. So, but I didn't run any stress tests or nothing like that. I just booted it up to see, not even any driver, just to see if I get an image, right? It worked. So I was like, why won't the 460 work in here? So then I got out a buddy of mine, like I said, mines, and I have like 4 of the riser cards. Well, not riser cards, but the little, the brackets you put in your cards and extends them out. So I hooked it in with the piece that hooks into the 1X, and it was in its own PIE lane, and it booted and ran off of that. So I was like, okay, the card works like that. So I put it back in the slot, and it still didn't work. it still didn't show an image. I tried HDMI, DVI, VGA, and got no image. Like all I get with this system is it beeps, and a couple seconds later it beeps 2 more times really fast, beep, beep, like that, and then it's done. But the 280 worked in it, and the 460. Then I tried the 460 beforehand on that that ThinkCentre that has an i5 2400. It wouldn't work in that system either. But then I go and test it. I put it on that same card again, like here, because I couldn't use it, you know, with the 16x slot, since the 16x slot's technically up here and it's upside down, so the card goes this way. I tested in that machine with the adapter, like I was doing some mining, you know, because I got that card because I had a system that didn't have a 16x and only had a 1x, and I didn't want to snip this back to test the computer. It's pretty slow. I just wanted to see if it helped on an older card, but it worked in that system too, in the Optiplex 755. But some reason some systems it will not work on, so I don't know why. But you know, this is just, you know, this is up and running. The same CMOS batteries before, because it wasn't low. I probably replaced that 2 years ago. New capacitor, and then downgraded the RAM and upgraded the CPU and fully cleaned it, and now it's booting up fine. It's still slow. This drive isn't fast, but I ran, you know, 2 different tests on it, and it says the drive's fine. So I don't know what's up with that, but everything else is good. As you can see, fully cleaned. Like, I took this system apart and fully cleaned it. It's good to go now. Okay, I'm gonna put that in there. So thank you for watching. This was just an update on my uncle's old computer that is now my computer. So if you have any suggestions on what would cause that 460 to not to work in here, or what video card would be good in here, you know, something not too powerful, something not really too new, you know, that's gonna match, you know, this air, you know, in this system, you know, something that should be in the system, you know. Let me know. Put that in the comment below, and then I'll see if I can borrow one or get my hands on one for a low enough price, because I don't really want to throw too much money in the system. I might order, you know, if I get a, you know, if I'm going to put a video card in here, I would order another one of these, try to order exact same RAM as this, so then put the original back in it too, so it can have 8 gigs of RAM and a video card. You know, something. Leave that in the comment what you think would be a good match for this. Now, I'm not talking like something like maybe a 750, or maybe I even go with that. I got a system coming that has a 730. Maybe I'll go with the 730 in here just to kind of test it. Yeah, I was wanting to put the 460 in here because it did play Fortnite. So I wanted to see if I could get this system actually to run Fortnite. And that was not on performance mode. So I was getting, you know, high 30s, low 40s on that computer. Not performance mode, on DirectX 11. But yeah, leave it down in the comment below. What video card do you think I should put in here? You know, mention that it only has a 300 watt power supply and no, you know, 6-pin or 8-pin connector. Obviously, you still, if it needs an 8-pin, if it's not like a 6-pin and it's not super powerful, I could go with like a Molex, you know, because it has Molex on here. So if it isn't super powerful and it needs a 6-pin, I could just go a Molex to like a 6-pin, or a SATA to 6-pin, you know, just to test it. It wouldn't be like a permanent thing. But yeah, leave that in a comment below. And I just think this system turned out amazing. I did not think that one capacitor would cause this thing not to boot with the hard drive in it, but will boot without a hard drive. So there we go. Thank you for watching.